Okay, we are back. 2024 PGA Championship preview. Josh, got my brother Justin back, younger brother. Everyone, please give a congratulations. Justin just graduated from Penn State University. Got my hat on too. So we got two alums in the Siegel family at Penn State. We got one out Jack going there in the fall. So not much golf we have been watching, but it's time to talk PGA Championship Saturday, May 11th. So the Wells Fargo is going on right now. We don't know who will win at this point. So kind of our thoughts and opinions are kind of going to be around what's not happening at the Wells Fargo. So, but Justin, PGA Championship week, what are you most looking forward to about the second major of the 2024 golf season?
Yeah, so again, thank you for having me on for, I believe, a third time now. I feel like I'm just looking forward to just seeing the course as a whole because we haven't been here in 10 years. And I feel like we both really didn't start to become big golf fans until maybe 2015-ish. So I've never really seen the course, and it's playing slightly under 7,700 yards as a par 71, which is pretty long considering it's only a 71 and not a 72. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm really looking forward to seeing the course as a whole and just seeing what the winning score can be there. And because we've seen the past two times it was more than 15 under par. And we obviously know that players are getting longer, they're hitting the ball further than even 10 years ago now. So that's what I'm looking forward to most for next weekend.
Yeah, I mean, so also in golf we have four majors. Obviously the Masters is at the same course, Augusta National. So, well, I think what makes kind of doing prep, talking about golfers and how they fit the course, it's interesting because usually don't see this. It's probably every 10 years they kind of rotate courses. So we haven't seen this course, as you said, in 2014. Which the only thing I really remember, which probably a lot of people only remember, is the 18th hole where Phil and Fowler played through Rory and Wiesberger just to get them to finish, and then Phil almost chipped in from the front of the green on 18 in the pitch dark, essentially, and fell short to Rory McIlroy. And for Rory, he hasn't won a major in 10 years. He did win. Well, he won the Open, so I guess he won back-to-back in 2014. But the PGA Championship here at Valhalla was in August, not in May. So this is the last major, the last course he won a major at. So I think that's a huge, obviously, storyline. But, I mean, when I talked with Ryan Ogle that a couple of weeks ago, which came out last week on Monday, he really said that it's a second shot golf course. It's going to favor your elite ball strikers, elite off the tee, elite iron players. The rough is going to be thick, which is kind of what the PGA Championship has done. And Ryan said on the podcast that kind of the whole PGA Championships MO is tough but fair. And I think if you look back at the last couple of years, I think the PGA Championships have had the best drama per se, however you kind of want to think about it, of all the other majors. So I'm really fascinated because we've had drama here, as I just said, specifically at Valhalla. So not a lot of people rave about this course, but as Ryan said, it creates a lot of drama, and that's what we're trying to have this week. So I'll give a little course preview of Valhalla, and then I'll kind of give some course comps that I think are going to be pretty prevalent when we go through not every player, but the players that can catch our eye on like the betting board. So, as if you don't know, PGA Championship is going to Valhalla Golf Club, located in Louisville, Kentucky. Justin said par 1. The second hole is a par 5 for the members, which will be a par 4 for the championship next week, playing just under 7,700 yards. It's a Jack Nicklaus design course that opened in 1986, and they switched the grass types from 2014 to now, which is going to be Zoysia grass fairways. So I think Zoysia grass, from what I understand, I might be wrong, but I think they're more receptive to rain and water. So that's kind of, and then they've lengthened the tee boxes on a couple holes. I think number 1 and maybe number 2 have definitely been lengthened. So there's a couple course changes, but from what Ryan kind of said, it's not. It's like the identity of the course is the same since we last saw this course in 2014. So, as I said, we're going to be trying to find elite off the tee players, approach players. I don't really care about your short game around these greens, just from reading course comparisons. Like, it's going to be like rough, but I think they're easier for players that aren't good around the greens.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not really like, I think for like the Jordan Spieths of like the world, Cam Smith, and those guys who are excellent around the green players, I don't think that skill set will set you apart from anyone else. It's going to be off the tee and approach play, driving distance is what everyone will be saying next week. So that is the skill sets. Well, of course, preview. Any kind of thoughts just on the course skill set? I can get into like the course comparisons that, or if you want to get into that. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think you said that pretty well. Definitely driving length and especially accuracy as well. I feel like those are definitely going to be two of like the most like prominent
Yeah.
like statistics that people look at for previews this next
Yeah.
week.
So let
So,
me get into course comparisons.
hmm
Um, Easy question for you, but so one, Jack Nicholas, I said, designed this course, Valhalla.
hmm
There's another course on tour that they play every year that Jack has also designed. Name that course.
It is. So the tournament is the Memorial, and it's at Muirfield Village, I believe, in Ohio,
Yeah.
I
So
think. And
players that have
um,
won
yeah,
Muirfield Village: Hovland, Billy Horschel, Cantlay, Rahm, Bryson, Hideki, Tiger, Jason Duffner are just some of the guys
Jason
I
Duffner.
took from that
Yeah.
list. I
hmm
included Duffner in that list because at the time, pretty much, I would say all these guys besides Hideki and Horschel, they're all known for their driving it far and straight.
Yeah.
Uh, I,
hmm
I look back, I think Duffner was top 10 in Tee to Green the year that he won. So
hmm
Muirfield Village is primarily favors players who hit a fade off the tee. I don't track every player if they can hit a fade well off the tee, but that's primarily what Jack Nicklaus's designs are. And I found something pretty interesting that kind of can help the debate that Meaford Village is a good comp course to Valhalla Golf Club. Kenny Perry won the Memorial 3 times in his career. In 1996, when the PGA Championship was at Valhalla, Kenny Perry lost in a playoff to Mark Brooks. So a guy who's had success, won Muirfield Village 3 times in his career, he lost in a playoff at the PGA Championship at Valhalla. So I think Muirfield Village is probably going to be the most popular course comp for the golf nerds out there. I see a little bit of Oak Hill, which just drive it long, far, thick, rough. Olympia Fields 2 that we saw last year at the 2023 BMW Championship, which
hmm
Victor Hovland won. Cantlay has played there well in his career. And it's hard not to say Winged Foot too for just how that course played in 2020 at the U.S. Open that Bryson won. So those are kind of courses that stick out: long, drive it far, and then rely on your approach game. So the last kind of stat I'll give you before we hop into players is on the Rick Run Good website. There's a filter that you can filter on strokes gained on long, difficult golf courses in general. So this is the last 100 rounds. So since February of 2020, so let's just say in the last 4 years. Number 1, Jon Rahm. 2, Rory. Number 3, Tony Finau. 4, Scheffler. 5, Hatton. 6, Sungjae. 7, Xander. JT 8, Bryson 9, Cantlay 10. So a lot of the same names, your Rahm, Cantlay, Bryson.
Yeah.
They have won at Muirfield Village, played well at BMW. Scheffler, I think, was his best. I believe that might be his best tee to green performance of his career, where he lost 8 strokes putting, and he was top guy tee to green, lost strokes putting. And obviously Rory has won here before, has played well at long difficult golf courses. So I think people are probably tired of me saying that, but that's going to be something pretty prevalent that when I'm looking at the course and what you need to do to succeed and put yourself in the best position to set yourself apart from other golfers, I think off the tee and approach are the top 2 on long difficult golf courses. So just some things to keep in mind. I've been talking a lot, so I kind of want to toss it over to you. I mean, we have to talk about Scottie Scheffler first. He's plus 400 on FanDuel. Obviously, comes with his skill set. He fits everywhere. Are you concerned that Scottie will withdraw because of his kid? Which we don't know if the kid is born yet.
Yeah, I mean,
let's talk about
I was
pregnancy.
about to say that. I don't think I've heard Scottie announce that his kid has been born yet. It's obviously very possible that their kid has been, and they haven't announced it. But I don't want to speculate too much on that. But yeah, I mean, I feel with Scheffler, as you said, 4-1 on FanDuel. Obviously, if you guys watched the Masters preview, I said I wouldn't bet on Scheffler, not good value. But I feel with Scheffler, anything is good value with him. And obviously, his ball striking is insane. I don't have the stats pulled up. I'm sure you do, but I believe he might be number 1 in strokes gained off the tee. And that is something that is going to be talked about a lot. I mean, I honestly don't even know if there's really much to talk about with Scottie. He's just that good. And as you said, he fits these major style courses well with the long driving, and he's super accurate off the tee as well. So he just doesn't put himself in a lot of trouble. So I think that's my little preview on Scheffler for this week.
Yeah, I mean it. We both said we don't think Scottie wins. However, what else? There's not really much to say about him, as you said.
Right.
A lot of people, which I totally agree with, when I was doing my preview, when I did my research on Valhalla and Pinehurst at the start of the year, a lot of people are saying that if Sky's going to win either the PGA or Pinehurst, that Pinehurst is a much better course fit because it's more of that Augusta style of course. And with those type of courses, how tough they are, the greens are just penal. The greens aren't that tough. There's not a lot of undulation from what I have seen, what Ryan told me, the tournament director last week, was saying. So it's a lot of people are saying this, but a lot of people are saying that Scottie is a much better play and bet at Pinehurst. People are already saying that he might just win Pinehurst by 6-7 strokes, like Mark Keimer did. So take that for what you want.
Yeah.
but I think that obviously he's in play anywhere. I just think that there probably is more guys that could win the PGA Championship that are alive than like the Masters or like a U.S. Open this year just with the course. But I mean, we don't know if he's going to play or not. I mean, I think he's going to play. I mean, we don't know if his kid is out yet or born. Hopefully, if he or she is very healthy baby. I know like Sam Burns had
Hmm.
his kid pretty recently. I don't think he's
Okay.
playing this week.
Hmm.
Along with Scheffler. So hey, if there's any man that can do it, I mean, he won Augusta at the Masters, and then he went on to win RBC like Heritage when he flew back home to Texas to see his wife, and then flew back on like a Tuesday night, played like a program for like nine holes on Wednesday, and just won the tournament. So I think he can just show up Thursday morning, fly in, hit a couple of chips and putts and a couple of drivers, and go out and win. So like I don't know if I'll get there on Scheffler. Obviously, we're doing this Saturday. News will come out, storylines will come out that could change that, but I don't see myself getting
Hmm.
to Scheffler. However, if the casual fans of golf who will text me about their pools, they're like, "Who should I bet?" Like, I'm just going to say like this guy's going to be in that mix, and if you want plus 400, plus 450, and you don't care about you know anything else, like take that bet.
Right.
Uh, So,
Hmm.
yeah, not really much I can say about Sky right now that we don't really know his status or anything. So, kind of the next tier of guys, I'll have you pick who you personally wanted to talk about. I have one
Yeah.
name that I want to talk about, but you have like the Rory is plus 1,000, Kepka is 14-1, Xander's 14-1, Rahm 16-1, and Obert's 18-1. So, there's two guys in this range I think that have some mystery to them. And Rom, just because like he didn't play well at like the Masters, but you don't really watch him that much anymore. And Obear has a knee injury, which I think is just precautionary. But what guy do you want to, for yourself, kind of talk about quickly?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely want to talk about Rory among those players because, as you said, he won a decade ago in August, so that was his last major one. And he's performed pretty well in a couple of these like past PGA championships, which like some of those courses, like Oak Hill, is pretty similar to this course, and he got a top 10 there. So we obviously said that we're recording this before the Wells Fargo is over. He's top three there right now, I believe. But with me and him, it's like I just can't get over that he hasn't won a major in 10 years now. I just feel like with this thick rough at Valhalla, like his current game, like right now, like his driving numbers are absurd. And I'm sure like every golf fan knows like how far and how high he hits the ball. But I feel like he puts himself in he puts himself in danger so much and he just makes so many mistakes at some of these like bigger tournaments, and I feel like that's why like he really hasn't like broken through at a major yet. Because I mean, besides like the British Opens, and I mean like I guess like Augusta as well, like mainly like the PGAs and the US Opens have a lot of like long grass, and it really penalizes you for making mistakes like off the tee and then approach play as well. Wedge play has been really poor over the past, I think just like this season, it's been like pretty poor. I mean, I know like I'm hating on him a little bit right now. I'm not taking him at plus 1,000, but I mean, if you bet him like top 10 because he has good course history here, I feel like that's a pretty good bet. As an outright winner bet, I don't know if you agree or not, but I wouldn't take him.
Yeah, if you're talking about just the odds, personally,
Yes. Hmm.
why would someone like if you like Rory? skill set, you like Koepka's skill set, who has won this tournament
Hmm.
3 times and won. Last year, he won Live Singapore, which I'll get into. So he sets up well with the driving and the ball striking. He does have that
Hmm.
left miss that he has like that one blow up. I don't like the
Yes.
number
Hmm.
as an outright, as you said, but I think he's like in play to finish top 10. I mean, I think
Hmm. Yeah.
if it's what I'm talking about off the tee driving distance can set you apart, then he's going to be up there on like the leaderboard. It's just that he's. I don't have the specific stat, but I believe what Rick Rungood has sent that he put out a couple of months ago. I think he's number 2 in like strokes gained at majors in the last couple of years. I mean, I'm looking at his profile right now. He has 8 top 10s at majors since 2021. So I mean, it's just like, and
Hmm.
it's all green and like the ball striking.
Yeah.
My numbers are like pretty well. His really bad finishes the last couple of years have been Augusta this year, Augusta in
Right.
2021. I mean, so like he was T8 as his wing foot, so I think he's going to play well. I don't know if I just don't like the number for him to win. Uh, I think you kind of hit it, the hammer on the nail. It's really just can he get it done? Like he checks off a
Right.
lot of boxes. It's just that can he win is really like the box. But like kind of my guy this week that is so it's really no surprise. Like I think just Koepka just sets up so well here. He is Mr. PGA, as I said. He won the PGA last year at Oak Hill 2019. Flag
Hmm.
right there, wearing the shirt. Won 2019 at Bethpage. 2018 he won at Belle Reve, which he took down Tiger. He was kind of making that push there. They all set up similar to Valhalla, and just for Brooks, like obviously he plays well on tough courses. He knows how to really manage a course, manage a major. He plays very. He's not aggressive. He knows like his spots, where to attack pins, where just to hit it. You know,
Hmm.
40 feet from the pin, 2 putt, get out. So obviously his driving distance is pretty good, and he's coming off a win on Live 2 weeks ago when this comes out in Singapore. So
Hmm.
it's really not much to say. I mean, he's 14-1 now. Like I think it's just like might be just the best bet for a number than Rory at 9 or 10-1 and Scheffler at 4-1. Just with like his history, I think the thing that concerns me is that, like,
Hmm.
can he go back to back again at major? Like he's done it twice, PGA and US Open. Like, is he really going to do it again and also come off a win at Live? I mean, when he's won majors, he's played really well. I had that. I'll retweet that tweet this week, but I kind of did like a thread of like his finishes going into a major, and it's primarily like the week before a major, but he needs to have form going into these like majors. So it'll be
Right.
interesting to see how that number fluctuates Monday morning and throughout the week. But I think Brooks is the best bet in this range, just based off course fit, PGA Championship history, and he's just a stone cold killer in these championships.
Yeah.
So the same with the top names. I think I said like Rahm's just a huge like question mark. He kind of checks off the boxes with
Yeah.
on course at Muirfield Village. He hits that power fade off the tee, elite driver, but like we just haven't seen him. So is he just like an auto, like not bet, not really gonna like think twice about it?
Yeah, I kind of agree with what like your mindset is on Rom, and I feel like a lot of other golf fans also would agree. Just kind of hard to get a read on him right now. I know he's been like playing like pretty solid on Live, but it's like how much does that like really like factor into like a major level course? I know with Kepka, he's done it like he's obviously won a major last year while playing on Live. It it translated for him, but also not everyone is Brooks Kepka in these
Yeah.
majors. I wouldn't take him outright at 17-1, I believe. but I'm gonna let you talk about JT because I feel like it's gonna be like the biggest storyline. So, like, what do you like personally think about JT, and like, would you bet him as an outright for this weekend?
Damn, you're skipping like the entire range, but yeah, we can do that. My thing on JT is I think a lot of people are just like out on him. Like the numbers, I think are better than what people are kind of talking about. His ball striking numbers are better, but it just like doesn't. Like, he doesn't look right. I mean, he changed his caddy from Bones to I don't even know who is on like his bag now. I mean, as a fun bet fan of JT, like I might get there and bet him at 31-1. I think he's right now. I mean, he won in 2017 at Quail Hollow, 2022 won at Southern Hills, which some say was a gift was handed to him.
Mm-hmm.
He has played well on Zoyja grass golf courses, according to Annie Lack.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously has a hometown connection, but like I think there might be like too much pressure for JT to handle coming back home to Kentucky. A lot of eyes will be on him. He'll be one of like the major storylines this week. I mean, I think he was at the course earlier this week on last Monday or Tuesday and got
Yeah.
some
Mm-hmm.
award from the state or the city of Louisville and just bawled out crying, kind of in like a good way, obviously. So I don't think his game is there to win a major. I think it's gonna be too much pressure for JT to handle. I'll be cheering for him, obviously. I hope I'm wrong, but I think just like the hometown, all of these like storylines, I think he's going to be thinking about others. I think there's too much outside noise um, for him
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
this week. Is that how you feel?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I feel the same with him. I feel like he's pretty unreliable right now. His game's not in the best form. And yeah, I mean, I wouldn't take him here. I just don't. It's kind of hard to get a read on him right now as well. He's doing pretty solid at the Wells Fargo right now. But yeah, I feel like my opinions align with what you're saying about like the
Yeah.
pressure, and I feel like he's just gonna like get a lot of attention this week. Like obviously he's shown that like he can perform under pressure. It's
Yeah.
just like I just don't think like his game right now is like built to win a major.
Yeah. I kind of want to switch gears from players, but I want to ask a quick question that just came to mind. Like, what what two golfer duel would be like the best duel on Sunday next week for
Yeah,
for
that's
the
a
championship and like the
yeah.
drama?
I think like a Rory versus like one of the top live guys. Like maybe like a like I mean, are you asking like for the storyline or just like pure like entertainment purposes?
Well, I mean, storyline and entertainment purposes are like the same
Yeah.
thing. But I'm saying
Yeah. Hmm.
I'll phrase a question that like, what is the best duel coming down the stretch on Sunday that will get the most television views
I
for the
think
audience
like
for the casual fan?
yeah. I
What does
think
somebody
like
want
yeah.
if they had to write their own
I
script?
think like a Rory for sure because he's definitely like the poster child for the PGA Tour right now, and I think like a Rory versus either like Brooks or maybe even like Spieth because Spieth hasn't really been playing that well, and golf fans love Spieth, and I feel like a lot of casuals would watch that. So I think a combination of those few, but I think for like the storylines and the casual fans, as you said, like I think Rory in like the final group, like coming down like the back nine, like tied with like another like tier one golf player. I think that would be like the biggest storyline.
I think like 1A, 1B is 1A Rory Brooks,
Hmm.
and then
Yeah.
1B is Spieth and Rory because no one's
Yeah.
talking about Spieth. If he wins a PGA, he gets the career like Grand Slam and gets into that conversation
Right.
another level. storylines, Hall of Fame track record.
Right.
Again, Spieth puts viewers on the TV. Rory does. We saw last week
Right.
the Zurich had like I think they're up like 23% in
Yeah.
television views because
Mm-hmm. It's
Rory
insane.
was
Yeah.
playing against like Chad like Ramey and like Zach Blair, I think, who like had like the
Martin
worst putt
Trainer. Yeah.
trainer, yeah, whatever, who had like the worst putt.
Yeah.
Sorry, for that, like Martin, but yeah, that just like popped in my head. I think it has to be a combination of Rory, Koepka, and Spieth. But let's kind
Mm-hmm.
of.
I think so too.
I'll give you a couple names: Xander, Ober, Morikawa, Cantlay, Cam Smith. Just react to like one of those guys.
I think Morikawa. I think he is going to be my pick to win just because he's not notorious for being a great driver of the golf ball. Obviously, everyone knows his approach game is what he excels at the most out of everything in his game. And I'm looking at the stats of the Wells Fargo before round 3, and he is 6th in the strokes gained off the tee right now. So I just think if he can translate his performance off the tee from these first 2 rounds at the Wells Fargo, and like I'm a big like proponent on like golfer form. If they're playing well, they're going to continue to. And I feel like if he continues to hit the ball well off the tee, I think he's going to win this weekend. I think he's like a pretty good bet as well as an outright at 25 to 1 on FanDuel. So I think with all that, and you said that Ryan on the podcast said that there's not a lot of undulation on the greens, and he's not the best putter. So it's like
He's been
it
playing well
seems
this year,
like
though.
these greens, he has been, but it's like, like,
Trust him.
do you, can you rely on him to sustain that?
No.
And I think there's not a lot of undulation, as Ryan said, on the green, so it's not going to be too hard to putt on. It's not like Augusta or like a typical like U.S. Open. So I think Morikawa would. He's the one who sticks out among like the kind of like the like second of the outrights between like Ludwig, Xander,
Yeah.
Cam
I
Smith.
mean, if it's a second shot golf course that Ryan said, I mean, Morikawa is, historically a top 5 approach player we have on tour.
Right.
Uh, if you want to make the comparison to Muirfield Village, Cantlay is number 1, averaging 2.5 strokes per round at Muirfield. Number 2 is Colin Morikawa at 2.37.
Right. Mm-hmm.
This is not live guys, so John Rahm's up there too, but then like Matt Kuchar is like next, like 1.8. So he's played well
Right.
there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just if the path for him to win is harder because he's not an elite driver. He
Yes.
isn't
Mm-hmm.
hit as far. So if he's in the rough and not hitting fairways, he's hitting long irons out of
Right. Mm-hmm.
the rough compared to like a Roaring Koepka who will be farther up and hitting a more lofted club, easier to hit it higher, easier to hold those
Mm-hmm.
greens. So he has a difficult path, but he's won a PGA in 2020 at Harding Park. So he's definitely in play. He's someone that I have not gone right the last couple of years. I didn't like him this week. He's playing well at Wells Fargo. He kind of elevates. He's one of those guys that he elevates his game at majors. So I
Mm-hmm.
mean,
Yes.
he is someone that like in this range of like the Koepka, Morikawa. I think those are 2 guys that I have on my radar, and I do like the number. Uh, just to quickly go ahead, like Cam Smith, I don't think he's an elite enough driver. I just don't like the course fit.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a better
Yeah.
play at the Open and U.S.
Yeah.
Open at
Mm-hmm.
Pinehurst. For Xander, I mean, he has an all-around skill set. He has a complete game. He has 7 straight top 18 or better finishes. In majors, he's top 10 in strokes gained on long, difficult golf courses. He is winning by 4 strokes at the Wells Fargo. He is arguably the second best player in the world right now. So I think he's a lock top 10, top
Yeah.
15. I don't know if it's also a thing like if he wins this week at Wells Fargo, I don't know if I can get there to bet him this week. He just,
Hmm. Yeah.
he's due to win a major at some point. I do like his course fit because he has that elite skill set, complete game. For him is like can he do it? Can he get there on Sunday to put himself in position? I mean, he played decently well at the Masters, but he was never in contention. That's like his whole thing. That's his whole ML. That he hasn't really been in contention at these majors. So
Right.
he's someone that I'm not gonna plant my. He's gonna win. I got burned by that at the Masters. So
Hmm.
I'm a Xander fan. We're both Austin Kaiser fans. Great caddy work. He put himself on the line in like those bushes and then got a free
Yeah.
drop and another free drop. So Austin Kaiser stock up in his caddy stock. So I mean, there's not really much to
Hmm.
say. He's
Yes.
playing great. Ludwig,
Up.
I mean,
Yes.
coming off a great showing at like the Masters, solo second in his first appearance at the Masters, and also his first major appearance ever. Like Xander, he has a complete game. He's in form. 4 straight top 14
Yeah.
finishes on tour, top 10 in driving distance, top 10 in total driving in general. He did withdraw this week with a knee injury. However, I'm not really concerned. I wouldn't really be concerned for a guy that's our age who has a knee problem. Hasn't really
Right.
showed that he's had knee problems in his career so far. So I think he's gonna be a very heavy bet, just because people know his name now. It was his coming out party at the Masters, so I think he's gonna be pretty popular this week. And I think he
Yeah.
plays well this week, but I kind of like
I think
maybe
so too.
not like pump like the brakes, but like I think I want to like kind of go through these majors, kind of know how to do it. I think no one can argue that he's gonna win majors in his career. He has the skill set. He has that like mantra to him. So not very concerned on that. But I don't know if I'll get there
Yeah.
with him. But I do
Hmm.
like the course fit with
Yeah.
Ludwig Aubert. Couple more guys I want to talk about, and then we'll go in like the quick sleepers I have, and then we'll wrap it up. But uh, we're both Victor Hovland fans, and Hovland was my pick to win in the start of 2024. He's such a great course fit. He's won last year, Muirfield Village, won at
Yep.
Olympia Fields, at the BMW last year too. Historically an elite ball striker, but he just is not himself. It's pretty evident. He's going through some sort of swing changes this entire year. I think everyone was penciling him at the PGA Championship here. He compares to all these great courses, has the skill set to win, but he just hasn't been himself. He's not playing well this week right now at the Wells Fargo. So I will admit to everyone, I have a 22-1 future on him that looked great up until the last month and a half. Shout out to Brian Kirshner, who I saw him on it. I was like, I'll do it too. He was like 14-1 like for the last year. Now it's 31-1.
Yeah.
So I'm not putting any more of my shekels on him. But what are your thoughts on our guy Vic?
Yeah. I've been saying it. It's just like, can't really get on board with someone who's like in not the best form like that. Like, it's not even like it's just like the around the green play for him, as we've seen, that hasn't been great. Like, even like his tee to green, like stats, like even like this week, like he's around even strokes gained when you combine just off the tee and approach. So it's like he's not even like striking the ball well. I'm not gonna like dive like too deep
Yeah.
into it, but I'm not gonna lay this like around like 30, 31 to 1 number.
No, I think that number can get to like 40-1, honestly.
Yeah.
Like
Hmm.
not playing well. And I'm looking like his best finish this
I think so
year.
too.
His best finish in 2024 is a T19 at the Genesis, and then it's like T22 at the Century, and everything else is like he made the cut, but he's like T40. So it
Right.
sucks. I wish it's crazy. I'm so shocked that we're at this point with Vic that he's not one of like the favorites to win, but
Yeah.
he's someone that he doesn't like to play like when he's going through these changes and trying to work through something, he doesn't like to play through it. He takes 2 weeks off and just grinds and grinds and grinds on like the range and whatever. So he hasn't really played much this year. He's only played in the tournaments that he has to play. So
Right.
very interesting. So I'm gonna lay my name on the line for another golfer, and then we'll just quickly go through a couple more guys. I mean, we'll have the speed conversation after this, but like I have loved Bryson at this course since I started doing my research in the start of this year. I mean, we know he hits it long and straight off the tee. As I said, he is top 10 on long, difficult golf courses. He's also, he won at Winged Foot in 2020, where he really separated himself from the field, hit it long, not really caring where it goes, but just long, and figured it out from there. Loved what I saw at the Masters. I mean, he finished T6, was by far his best tournament of the year, and he gained 7.3 strokes off the tee, was best in the field by I think 1 or 2, which second was Sky Scheffler. He finished T4 at Oak Hill last year and then T4 at the PGA in 2020. So I love the course fit. I love this number. I think it's 28-1 now. So it's middle 20s, upper 20s. I think a lot of people got him at like 35 or 60-1 from what I just have seen on Twitter. So if this course is what people are saying is that you can set yourself apart off the tee with your ball striking, like Bryson is one of the best drivers in the world, the content king. Been watching all his YouTube stuff. It's pretty good just seeing him like drive at the ball. It's just different. Again, he's won Muirfield Lake Village too. So, like, Bryson's one of my favorite plays at his number. I think he contends and hopefully can put on a show and really grow this game that he is
Hmm.
on YouTube. So that's my Bryson stance. Couple more minutes. It would be criminal if we didn't talk about Jordan Spieth. Give me your thoughts on our guy.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a little rough for him. Obviously, we saw yesterday he was like grimacing at his wrist, which he's talked about. He's having a little trouble with that. Right now, he's 60-1, which is absurd value for any like Jordan Spieth number. I feel like he's been playing a little like he was playing well these first 2 rounds at Wells Fargo, and then he was 3 over in his last 2 holes on Friday. So I kind of put him out of contention for now. So yeah, I mean, with Spieth, he's been driving the ball a lot better again. Like, it's like, how reliable is that? So I don't have much to say, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna like maybe like sprinkle it because I'm kind of like biased towards him and a big fan of him, as everyone knows. So yeah, that's what my thoughts on Speed.
I mean, he just put one to like 14 feet on like the first hole. So maybe he's
Yeah, there you go.
maybe he
There
has
you
a
go, right there.
earpiece and listens to his podcast, which isn't live. But yeah, I mean, as I said before, like this is the the PGA. If he can get one in his career, he gets a career Grand Slam. I just think he's just so inconsistent. Like no one can get. I don't think he even knows like the state of like his game. I would love to ask that question if I was in like the media center.
Hmm.
I'd be like, describe your current golf game in like 3 like words. I don't. It'd be fascinating to see what 3 words he actually would say. I think he is battling that wrist injury. I just, I mean, he played well at Oak Hill. He gained like 5 strokes off the tee, but it's just
Hmm.
like he doesn't fit the style of golf where you hit it far, long, rough. you can't separate yourself from around the green. So when I wrote my little preview, he was 55 to 1 on FanDuel. Now he's 60 to 1. So I'll probably just sprinkle just because I'm a Jordan Spieth fan. I'm not gonna just like put my heart out there and be like he's gonna win this. But yeah,
Right.
it's I said before. I mean, it would be great for golf if he can get into the mix and stuff. So kind of just a couple of sleepers I have just based off like driving the ball. Will Zalatoris, Cam Young, both elite drivers. They both elevate their games at majors. Cam Young ranks 11th in total driving on the tour, and then Zalatoris, he's been gaining a lot of strokes from approach in his last 8 tournaments, but his putter went from pretty bad to start the year, improved incrementally in like February and March, and now it's kind of back to he has no idea what he's doing. I saw him putt the other day, and he had like a 6 footer, and him taking that putter back, that broomstick
Yeah,
putter,
it's
look,
bad.
he had no idea what he was doing. So I mean, just based off a ball striking perspective, I like him, but again, if this course is going to score, if you're going to make more like birdies than not, make those like 8-foot par saves, I have zero confidence in Zalatoris. Kim Young's kind of like the same too. So
Hmm.
I think they can. I won't be surprised if they're in like the mix come Saturday. I just don't rely on them to make those putts. And then I kind of headlined our guy Benny On and Seb Straka. Both guys are pretty elite off the tee and approach, hit it pretty far. So those are also two guys that I like that I probably won't get at. So just to kind of conclude, you kind of your pick to win right now. Obviously, we're doing this on Saturday at noon, so things can change. But I think right now your pick to win is Colin Morikawa. But is there any like if you could give like a
Hmm.
top 3 guys that you like or based off the betting odds number, you have
Yeah,
Colin Morikawa is number 1 at 20
I think he's 25. I
4 or
think.
25 to 1. So he's your one.
Yeah.
Who's like your top 3 guys? Like if like people are gonna like text you like, hey, give me a couple of guys you'd like. Give me
Yeah. Let me
your
pull it
short
up.
list.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'll keep it pretty simple. Obviously, I like Morikawa to win. I think I'm gonna put some coin on Scheffler this week. I just feel like you it would be kind of a little boneheaded even not to, like, it's still 4 to 1, so like I feel like you can get pretty good return, and I feel like he's going to be in the mix in some capacity, like, no matter what happens. So I'd say Morikawa, Scheffler, and then yeah. For a third guy, I would say, I mean, I know you said that you like Bryson a lot this week. I think he would be a guy that I would be betting in matchups, maybe like a finishing position and maybe a
Yeah.
sprinkle on the outright. So those would be my 3 guys.
Yeah, I think for me it's on the betting board. It's talking about the numbers.
Yes. Hmm. Yeah.
Kepka at 14 to 1, Bryson and probably Morikawa is probably my 3. Uh and then I kind of said like I do like Benny on later on the board. I don't think he can win, but a guy. So I'd say like my 3 outright bets will probably be Morikawa, Kepka, Bryson. Then for like finishing like positions, I like them too. Uh, and then like Xander is such like a top 10 like machine, but I don't like betting top tens. But I think Xander is like creeping like that top 3. It's just that like I just don't like he hasn't won a major, and I think the Kepka, Bryson, and Morikawa are the 3 guys in this field outside of like Scheffler and Rory and those guys that like they really elevate their games in
Yeah. Hmm.
majors. So those are my 3 guys. I like Rory and like in pools, honestly. Um, I guess we'll have to talk about with Evan about our 5 guys that we're playing. Because I don't like
Hmm.
we were abysmal in the Masters because we had like Xander, Hideki,
Right.
Joaquin Niemann, Finau, Cam Young, maybe, or Connors. I
Hmm.
forget who, but we have a lot of guys that burn. I I'd probably say for us, for our sake, I probably wouldn't. I think Scheffler's going to win like Pinehurst, so I would just wait on Scheffler. But this is probably like where you burn Kepka or Rory and all those guys. So your
Yep.
guys.
Yeah.
So, good little PGA preview. I'm really excited for this week. Just 'cause I think there's a lot of interesting storylines and stuff. And I hopefully we get like a Rory, Spieth, or Kepka. Give me those two guys down the stretch that can win.
Yep.
Uh, so, brother, I appreciate you coming on. You're kind of our like
Thank you
Swiss
for having me.
Army knife with the pond. Whenever I need someone, you're the first one there. Your best ability is your availability. So you've been really stepping up, and hopefully we can do better than we did at the Masters. So
Yep. Hopefully. Hopefully.